Hey everyone, my name is Brandon Thomas. I just recently graduated college with a bachelor's degree in information technology. Now, after graduating, I decided I wanted to enter the workforce, and luckily I was able to land a job within IT. Now, within this specific IT job, my role is pretty much involves a lot of things in regards to IT system management, and specifically, my managers told me if I wanted to be successful, I must learn something called Ansible. Now, you might be asking, what is Ansible? And I'll get to that in just a second. But I really wanted to talk about how important Ansible is and how much of impact it's had on me in just 1 week. After using Ansible for just 1 week, it has completely blown my mind and reshaped the way I think about everyday IT tasks. So today I decided why not just make a video on what I learned throughout this week and also why you should use Ansible, especially if you're a new user. Alright, so now let's talk about what Ansible really is in itself and what it tries to accomplish. Now, picture this scenario in your head. I'm sure some of you guys may or may have not set up a computer before, whether that's installing some type of software or just updating it manually. Now, imagine trying to do that for 100 different computers. It would probably be a real pain in the butt and would probably come along with a bunch of different mistakes throughout that process. This is where Ansible comes to the equation, as it's pretty much a super smart assistant that can do one task for 100 different computers from one central spot. After studying Ansible for only just 1 week, I've realized that it tries to get things done automatically and consistently every single time. In addition to this, after 1 week of studying Ansible, I feel like I can easily point out the core missions that Ansible tries to accomplish. For one, it automates repetitive tasks. For two, I would say that it tries to set up every system perfectly each and every single time. And three, it deploys applications at the fastest rate possible. As an IT grad myself, and going into the real world, with my new job, I feel like it's very important for me to stand out to my new managers. And one of the things I realized on the early on stages is that Ansible isn't just another tool that's on the block. It's a real game-changing feature that is a must-need in IT and in other different markets and industries as well. And overall, day one efficiency is the best efficiency possible, and Ansible is able to provide that for all users and customers. Now, I'm not sure how it was for you guys, but automation to me was a distant and abstract concept for me to really understand before I started this job. But since I've gotten my hands on Ansible, it's really just been a breath of fresh air to use, and honestly, it saved me a lot of time and frustration overall. And I think you can do the same thing for you as well. Now, the way this works is you can essentially write these set of instructions that are super clear and simple to understand called playbooks. And once you write those playbooks, Ansible will take those playbooks and apply those instructions all across your systems. So if that didn't make any sense, I think a good example you could say is, let's say you have a really important security patch that needs to be applied across 20 different servers. Now, if you were to do that manually, that would take hours upon hours, and that's not even considering the fact that there might be mistakes and human errors that are involved. Now, this is where Ansible is really nice to have, as you can write one set of instructions for those 20 servers just like that, and bam, it's done. So that's where the efficiency comes in, and it's really just a neat feature to have, as you could just save a lot of brain power and apply that to other areas of your work instead of focusing on that one task for multiple hours upon hours. So that's the neat thing about Ansible and the way it's able to automate. And it honestly made me think about why these things aren't taught in school. Obviously, for specifically IT majors or anyone within the tech field, learning about theory and code languages are very important. But when it comes to tools that literally define efficiency in the workplace, there's often a huge gap in this. And I honestly believe that giving just a little bit of a taste of Ansible to students can make them so much more effective and confident when landing their first IT job. So it's really interesting, and I would like to hear you guys' input on that as well. So after 1 week of going through Ansible, it's really just a great experience to really just understand what it tries to accomplish and just understanding the groundworks of what Ansible is for. And ultimately, one thing that stood out to me was just how Ansible lets you describe what you want to happen and not necessarily how to do every single step. And I think that's a huge shift in thinking for automating tasks. And I believe the potential here is absolutely huge, and I'm just getting started with it. So I'm looking ahead to a couple things. Specifically, I think the Ansible command line is something I'll probably look to next. So I'll see you next week, and thank you for listening.